Now let's do a discussion together of the assignment, and I'm here in the buy token function. And first of all, obviously I have moved the deduction of the ether for the buying the amount of tokens times the price, so the total amount of ether necessary to buy the tokens, into the limit order function, and have moved the deduction for each price point if we already have sell orders down to where this is happening. Now let's check out the actual market order logic. And here again, first we find the cheapest sell price that is lower than the buy amount. And let's say somebody want to buy 60 tokens at 5,000 Wei each, and somebody else is trying to sell actually 50 tokens at 4,500, and somebody's trying to sell 5 at 5,000. Now, first of all, we have to buy up the volume for 4,500 and then buy up the volume for 5,000, and the rest of the 5 tokens that we couldn't buy, we calling the buy function again and add a limit order. If we buy the tokens, then we have to move the ether from our balance to the balance of the person who is selling it, and we add the tokens from the limit order book where they are held in escrow to our balance. So this is the whole point. We have exactly the same logic, just the other way around. So first of all, as long as the wild price is not the price in Wei and the amount necessary, so the volume is not used up, we are going through the prices, and inside each of the sell books prices, we are going through the offers from the offers mapping. And here we have again 2 choices. Either one person offers not enough volume to fulfill the market order, then we use the volume up completely and move on to the next person who offers more of this volume. Or else the person offers more already in the sell book than we actually ask for, so we use parts of what the person is offering, lower his amount and fulfill the order. And I have written that here. So the total amount of ether available from this person is the volume at the price from this address. So we have a sell book for this price, for the offers for this particular offer, an amount from someone. And if we are multiplying it with the current price, then we have the total amount of ether for the amount of tokens that somebody want to sell times the price for that he wants to sell it. Now we have a few require statements. First of all, our balance in ether must be bigger than the amount of ether which we are trying to buy the tokens for. Then obviously if we deduct, it must be smaller than the balance that we have right now. So it's an overflow check. Then we deduct the balance that we are trying to buy tokens for right now. And then we check if the token balance plus the volume of the tokens from us is larger than the balance that we have right now. And then we check if the balance for an ETH for this address, the one that is trying to sell the tokens, plus the balance that we credit him will be larger than the current balance he has, so an overflow check. And then we add him the balance, or we add us the balance in tokens, and we remove the offer from the sell book, and then we add the guy who has just sold us the tokens, we add him the ether for the price that he tries to sell the tokens for. Obviously we increase then where we are at in the stack of offers, we emit an event, and we lower the volume. And we do this so long until we either hit a point where we have no more offers for the price that we want to try to buy our tokens for, or we have used up the volume, and then we are in this else part. And this is just a check that we have really enough amount to fulfill our volume. It's a sanity check. Then we again get the total amount of ether necessary to actually buy up this volume. Then we have another overflow check. we are deducting the rest of the necessary amount in Ether from our balance to buy these tokens. Then we have another overflow check to just see if the guy who is trying to sell us the tokens can get the Ether without any overflow. Then we are deducting the amount necessary from the amount of tokens that he is trying to sell. So if he's trying to sell 1,000 and we are just interested in 500, then the rest of the 500 will stay in his offer and we credit 1,000. Then we credit him the Ether and we credit us the tokens. We set the tokens finally to 0 and we emit an event. So this is basically the logic that was to implement. Let me clean this up a little bit here. And at the end, we just check if we had the last offer from our sell book, and we check if we have the last offer in the mapping, in the offers mapping, and the last offers mapping is 0, then we can actually take out this sell limit order. So we reduce the amount of sell prices in order to get our order book right. We check also if we have actually reached the absolutely last order, then we have a current sell price from 0 because there's no more sell orders. And hopefully there will be enough orders in our exchange that this seldom or never happens. But if it's not happening, if we still have more sell orders, then we set the current sell price to the next higher price, and we set from the next higher prices lower price to 0 because we take out the first element from the linked list. Then again, we set the while price to the current sell price, and that's it. Now, if we have reached the end of this while and we still have a volume to fulfill, then we call again the buy token function and we post a limit order. That's it for this section, and I hope you liked it. I hope you could really dive into the part of Solidity where it gets a little bit tricky. Obviously, the code is just the beginning. You can spend hours and hours, weeks more on this code, thorough testing, make sure everything is working. The next step in the workflow after making sure that everything is working on your machine would be to post it on the Ropsten testnet or on the next testnet, whatever is coming, or on a private net together with friends, and then post it on a public beta. And all of this doesn't cost any money yet. So only if you're certain and very certain that everything is working, then you can actually post it on the public net and let other people participate. Obviously, the contract is made not for high frequency sales, and Ethereum itself is not made for high frequency transactions. So we have around, 30 transactions per second maximum. That's really not a lot. And also the data structures, if you have a lot of limit orders, you will probably run into gas problems. But if you have a smaller community, if you have a few friends, or if you're in a company and you try to trade, let's say food tokens, or imagine anything else that you can bind on a token, be it equity, be it vouchers, be it, hours of free time, and so on. Anything that you can trade, maybe you can post it on this exchange and you have some fun with it. So this is the end of this practical Solidity part. In the next part, we are talking about the actual distributed application, which will be web. And we will keep it rather short because our course is not a web development course, it's a Solidity course. But I still want to show you the basics of Web3 in vanilla JavaScript, and we will combine it with Webpack. And I will show you a great way to get started with web apps. And it's just JavaScript and HTML and some CSS. So there's no PHP or Java or anything included. You can let it run on any static site and it will work. So I'll see you in the next lectures. And if you have any questions, head over to the course Q&A. It would be awesome if you can give us some feedback or leave us a rating. And anything else, just shoot me a message.